going live right now, and we waiting. Waiting for you to get on, and it's still saying waiting for recall underscore. I don't know what's taking so long, but let me try again. Let me try and go live with you one more time. There we go. How you doing?
How you doing, brother?
All right. Tell us your name and tell us where you're from.
My name's Damien. I'm from originally San Diego. I live in the Eastern Sierra Mountains right now. I live in a town called Bridgeport, California.
Pretty much California.
Yeah, so California. And right, but I'm got 1 foot in Nevada, so I'm about 10 miles from the Nevada border.
Okay. So tell us why you feel fathers are important, and if you have dealt with parental alienation or anything that you would like to share with us, you're all for it. Spotlight's on you.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, fathers are important is an understatement. I'm for equal rights, men and women and everything, but there's just things that, a woman can't do that a man has to do to raise a son. Teach them morals, teach them values, teach them how to treat a woman, how to be a father. And just like there's things that moms can teach their daughters that dads can't. You know what I mean? So, I came up from a single home, had a few stepdads in and out of my life, so I just had my mom growing up.
Take your time. Take your time.
Father's been important. It's an understatement. Moms are important, dads are important, and it's not so much in singularity. It's more parents are important as a unit, and I understand that it can't be like that all the time, because whether it's very, very rare in my what have I experienced for a marriage or a relationship to end civilly? It's always some undermining, and I'm not pointing the finger at either gender. It's either the fathers have issues with infidelity issues or addictions, other problems, or the mother, same thing. On that note, it could be financial struggles, which is a really, really big catalyst for a relationship disaster. So moms are important, but dads are important. But like I said, men, in my own personal opinion, and I don't want anybody to get offended at this and take this the wrong way, but men are the front runners of society as far as being strong and like say like I'm a Navy SEAL in a battlefield, and and I have a female soldier with me, and I'm pushing 260. And I end up getting shot in the knee. Is this 140-pound slender soldier going to be able to carry me out of the line of fire? So I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say that, but there are things that men need to do for their sons. At the same time, there's things that women need to do for their daughters. But both parents should have that, be able to share that equally. And if it's not due to civility and it goes to the system needs to realize that they need to include both parents in order for this child to succeed instead of favoring one or the other.
How's your relationship with do you have a son or daughter?
I have 2 sons from 2 different relationships. Got to learn the first time. Okay,
well, how are your relationships with them?
So my oldest son, I had him since he was I had custody of him since he was 3. I've raised him.
I don't mean to stop you, but I forgot to mention this to everyone. This is going to be a 2-hour event, so Instagram usually keeps me on here for 1 hour. When I get disconnected, I will go right back on live. So I'm asking all followers to please continue and please be patient and follow me and come right back on being live with me. So continue. And once again, for the people that are just now tuning in, can you tell everybody your name and where you're from once more?
Yeah, my name is Damien. I'm originally from San Diego. now live in Bridgeport, California, which is Eastern Sierra Mountains, small town, about 300 people. It's a tourist trap. And I'm trying to make my way over to Nevada because I can't deal with the California court systems anymore.
All right. Can you continue what you were about to tell us, though?
Yeah, so I have two sons. My oldest son is 19. He just graduated high school. I raised him. Thank you. I raised him single-handedly since he was 3. And he graduated high school, went back down to San Diego, because I used to joke with him, hey, so, when you're 18, man, I'm breaking your plate. When you got to go out, you got to be a man. And I didn't think he was going to leave the day of graduation. Like, he just straight, well, all right, Dad, love you, and took off. And I'm like, all right, so he's out there doing his thing. Really good kid. He was a great kid. Never told me no, never talked back, and really respectful to women, always helping people. He's just a great kid. Like, you can't say nothing bad about him. And then my other son, which why I've started this campaign, he's 8 years old, and we had a really, really, really good relationship. And he just got taken from me, from his mother, not just recently, but throughout the course of the past few years.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and I mean, we were together, we were having issues, and she wanted to. The reason I'm up here in Bridgeport is because this is her hometown. She has my son is a 4th generation from this town, so we were having our issues. She took off. She met some dude that she knew over the phone for 3 weeks, fell in love, and then took the kids and moved to Idaho. And then we started talking again, and I went and I spent $500,000 in her hometown. I bought her almost like one of the biggest houses we have here. I bought an ice company, so we could have, a family business, so I could teach the kids, the work ethic and the value of money and responsibility and deadlines and how the real world is. And I was up here for a couple of years, and she just kind of brushed me off and kept making excuse after excuse after excuse. And at that point, it was pretty evident that she wasn't going to be here, but it's fine. But, it worked out. But
so pretty much feel unappreciative.
And not only that, but she just strung everybody along, including her own family. Because I had a lot of support from her family here. Her family, this whole town is a bunch of great people. Had a ton of support from her family, and there's still a few of them that aren't really too keen on her. But the thing is, she's a master manipulator, and I don't have Facebook. I don't have, I have Facebook for my cause. I don't have a personal Facebook because I do face-to-face book. I do it old school. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what she's on there slandering my character and making up all this BS about me, I'm not there to defend myself. So all these people that were once, not really taking my side, but were at the least part neutral, are starting to get fed and starting to get drawn back into this thing. I just had one of the family members not too long ago say, why you doing, when I made a post on my Recall Magic page about some attorney fees I was supposed to get awarded to, which it will go nowhere. I'll never get them. But then I got a message from a family member. What are you doing this? You're trying to get my attention. You're only hurting your child. And I was like, let's think about this. I'm only hurting my child. I went 108 days consecutive without seeing, talking to, or spending time with my son. That was one time. They had moved 9 times in 4 years. The last time they moved, I didn't get the address. I've only got the address 8 times out of 9, and that was a court order. I had to have police agencies from 4 different jurisdictions in Elko looking for them. After 26 days, I finally get to talk to him. His mother's not been at the meeting spot I haven't had my kid for 2 Christmases, for 1 Thanksgiving, for 1 President's Day, multiple weekends. I've made the 6-hour drive up there and have been told, well, you'll talk to your kid when I'm ready. So I've driven up to Elko on a Friday. Sometimes didn't get my kid until Sunday. Judge up here just does not care, didn't care. And that's one reason that I'm doing this. I have this campaign. It's for the people that don't know the steps to take, but at the same time, because a lot of people go to court and they end up grabbing their ankles and they leave and like, well, judge made a decision. There's nothing I can do.
Have you ever decided of gathering a lot of people to protest against the judge?
What's that?
Have you ever decided on gathering a lot of people in California that may have dealt what you would have dealt to protest against the judge? Yeah,
and that's the thing, because our county, we only have I think maybe 14 or 16,000 people in the entire county. And a lot of the people here, they're not court smart as you know, like street smarts, but court smart. I've been through the system my whole life. For, you know, there's things I did when I was younger that I shouldn't have, but I've also been there for business. I've been there for family mostly. You know, I've been in bankruptcy court, so I know the system, but I can't really get a lot of people here to go there because they're just scared, because the judge, just like when you get pulled over, even though you're driving and one time pulls behind you, you're like, oh shit. And you're like, all right, you know, and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then like the cop's like, well, why are you nervous? Why are you nervous? And like, because you pulled me over, you know, and they don't understand that, you know, it's just a presence that's intimidating to most people.
Well, I have a comment from Justice for JC. These courts continue to say it's about the best interest of the child. I've yet to see it. Is it that's actually he actually brings out a good point, because there's people that I know personally, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there's one guy that I know that only sees his son every Tuesday from 5:30 to 8:30 for 1 week. He only sees his son once during the week from 5:30 to 8:30. The following week, he'll see his son on Tuesday again, and then he will spend the night with his son at his house from Saturday to Sunday the next day. And where's the connection? Where's the time at? And yet they're saying this is in the best interest for the child.
Yeah, and it's absolute BS, because, you know, Justice for Jace, if you go down to Adam Fallers Lives Matter, you're going to Anchor FM, look at the podcast. I have a 3-part podcast segment, and that's, you know, my judge in my case doesn't even have kids. He's just some dude, you know, that had a Yorkie for 12 years, and he's over here making decisions about the best interest of the child. But tell me how this fits in the best interest. Whenever I do not follow the mother's direct orders, or, for instance, the other day, the one time I got to talk to my kid, which is very often, she claims that his tablet's broken, so I have to use her phone because she has to maintain control. His tablet's never been broken. She said it was broken before, and I brought it, plugged it in. So I asked them, hey, did your mom mail your tablet yet? And I can hear her squawk in the background, no, because I don't know your address, because I just sold my house. But, you know, I've had the same P.O. box for about 6 years. And I said, okay, well, it's not like I have a new address every 6 months. And then she's like, oh. Then after that, I didn't even talk to my kid the next day, because I'm getting punished, you know, because she knows this judge has changed this court order. It was a trial of 18 months and $50,000 from me when he unilaterally assigned another childless child advocate attorney to represent my son, who was just as useless. And so I lost my train of thought right there. But so you know, the best interest of the kid. You know, after all this time goes on, and she's violating the court order after violation after violation after violation after violation after violation, and instead of him doing the job that he was sworn in to do, and the job that he was elected to do by the people, all he did was he kept manipulating, changing the court order in her favor. So, like, I drive all the way out to Elko to see my kid, because the court orders are made for a reason. Court orders are made so parents do not have to communicate if they don't have to. Okay, you're at this spot at this time. You get your kid. You make the exchange. You call at this time. You do your video chat at this time. It's cut and dried. But she would completely go out of her way to defy it and tell him to his face she's going to defy it. So instead of him doing the job he was elected to do, he just kept manipulating the court order to fit into her agenda over and over.
There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that manipulate the court order. Like, for instance, there's another guy that I know that where it will say you have your son, the father has his son on, for instance, the 4th of July or Easter Day or even on his birthday. The mother would literally allow the father, because there's no timing, to see the son for only 3 or 2 hours on his birthday or on the day that he's supposed to be on there. It's manipulation of the court order, and most importantly, it's bitterness.
Yeah, it is. And you know, going back, and let me interrupt you real quick, Arcadio. Justice for Jace, yeah, I went through the same thing. She tried to have me arrested for kidnapping when I went. They ended up moving they lived in a tow camper in a parking lot of a sports bar. And I said, you know what? That was the 8th time they've moved in 4 years. I said, enough's enough. I'm going to come pick up my kid. I told her I was going to come pick up my kid. I go spend time with the other two because I was also a father to them. I know we're limited on time, so I can't really get into the details. But like, if you guys listen to my podcast, watch my podcast, you get the full thing. You know, so I'm on my way back here, and sure enough, you know, she's like, I'm in constant contact with her. Where you at? Gannon's not in school. I'm like, well, I know because I'm bringing him home. What do you mean you're bringing him home? What I've been texting you about the past like 3 weeks when you guys are living in a parking lot, I'm bringing him home. I'm bringing him to the only place he has stability, the only place that he has familiarity, the only place that he goes to bed, the same place every single night, the same place where he gets constant real dinners instead of chicken nuggets and friggin' mac and cheese every night. The place where he knows 3 generations of his family who are all encompassed within a 2-mile radius. I'm bringing him home. So I send her a picture. Oh, well, where are you? You looks like you're on the 80. I said, I am. I'm coming home. Next thing you know, 6 hours later, I pull into town. Got people calling me, hey, dude, you're on the news, bro. Like, cops are looking for you, man. You're wanted for kidnapping. I'm on what? I called the sheriff right then. I said, look, dude. I said, I don't know what you heard. And I said, but I'm going to give you 15 minutes to tell your department to call off the APB, and I'm going to give you 5 minutes to call the Elko Free Daily Press and tell them to take my name out of their mouth, because I will run through you like a train of wet cardboard boxes. I said, I will own that police station and I'll own that media center. You have 15 minutes to get your facts straight. And I sat there and I talked to him, and he was like, wow. He apologized. I got to be fair. He's a good cop. He was a good cop. He was able to, differentiate her fairy tale BS story integrated with my facts. And then he issued me an apology. After we got off the phone, I called the media right then, and I told him the same thing. You got 5 minutes to take my name down because I got my phone ready, and my civil attorney will make Kathleen Zellner look like a kindergarten teacher. She will blow doors on you guys. And
wow.
Then he's like, wow. Well, not until I get something from the sheriff. I said, all right, well, I'm just going to make the call right now. And then, the sheriff just paged me. I'm paged, huh? I paged you? You know,
well, so what I want to do right now, if everybody that's on here, if you feel the passion and you agree with what I'm saying, that he's a proud fighting father, I ask everyone on here to send the muscle signal and to send the 100 signal, because this is a strong, proud fighting father. And
I even fought for the kids that weren't mine. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we were together for 6 years and on and off for 4. And there was a point in time when I first bought her this house up here, she dropped all of her kids off, and she went on a 1-year party binge, going to EDC, going to raves, festivals, doing acid and eating ecstasy and stuff. Well, I'm over here by myself, taking care of 3 kids. I'm taking them to work. I'm showing them the ice bits, showing them how to work ice, showing them how to work. I'm doing homework with them every night. I'm making them meals. I'm doing it all. So it got to the point where she was able to mold their minds to where, the very last interaction I had with them, I went to go pick up my son after she made me drive around for about 3 hours, and they got out of the car, and I said, hey kids, how you doing? And they looked at me, and they looked at her, and she went, because I could see her. I was at a good angle where I could see her in the passenger seat, and I just saw her. And I said, hey, you guys doing all right? And they just looked down, got in the car, and shut the door. And
now, before I let you go, and I don't mean to let you go shortly, because I have to let Kids Aren't Pawns get on next as my third guest. But
yeah.
My question to you, my last and final question to you is, actually 2 quick questions. If you could talk to the judge to get him understand why fathers are important, what would you say to that judge right now if he was watching?
There is absolutely nothing I can say. You asked me the other day how many times she violated the court order, and I thought about that. I said at least a dozen. She violates a court order on a daily basis, because anytime I don't get to see or talk to my kid when I'm ordered to, that's a violation. There's absolutely nothing. That's why, everybody out there listening, I appreciate your support. I see all your emojis and whatnot, and I ask that you add me. And I have what makes my case different is I have a virtual Google Drive that has all of my case information on there. It's all the emails, all the texts, everything. I have all the evidence out there. So you guys will see exactly the evidence that the judge had. And there is absolutely nothing I can tell him that would make him change at all.
Now, Two more questions because I have to get her on here. Sorry to add a bonus question on here.
That's cool.
If you was to talk to your kid's mother right now who's giving you all the trouble, if you were to have a civil conversation to get her to understand why fathers are important, what would you tell her?
Again, there's nothing, because you know what? All fathers are important until the breakup. Oh, you're such a great dad. I don't know what we do without you. You're such a great provider. Oh, I just met somebody else. You're a POS. We don't need you. You don't need to see your kids. Oh, what, you're dating somebody? No, you'll never see your kids again. That's the one promise she's kept me.
Once again, everyone, I ask you all one more time to send him the muscle signal, because this is a strong, passionate father that will not give up. Your son will get older one day and thank you at the fact that Daddy never gave up. Daddy went through so much. Daddy, and you're probably gonna laugh at this, but Daddy lost his hair for me. I'm not gonna have these braids too long with what I'm going through myself. But
it's just a wonder that I don't have so much gray at my age, you know.
But the point of where I'm getting with this is that your son, your kids are gonna respect you and thank you so much, because there's not a lot of fathers out there that are like you, that will go through so much to see their kids and fight and go through stress after stress after stress after stress. I respect you, and your kids are going to respect you. And the one thing that they're going to never forget is the fact that Daddy never gave up. One final question before I go on to my next guest. Kids aren't pawns. Get ready, because you're next. One final question. If you could talk to, if you were to talk to new people that are currently going through what you're going through, and they're brand new to this, what would your advice be to them if they are watching right now?
It depends on the jurisdiction. Definitely, if you're in California, you're not going to get anywhere. Attorneys, even though I have quite a few, they're crooks, and they will sit there and say they'll take their case. If you're going to fight, I would. If you have to do it, you have to do it. I had to do it, and that's all detailed on my case. But just be really, really careful. Do your homework. Even though the evidence probably won't go very far, write everything down, list everything, snapshot, screenshot, everything, and to be presentable. If you're representing yourself pro per, keep it short, keep it facts. Don't ramble like I do. Be professional, and just and prepare for the worst. It's hard to say and hard to hear, but prepare for the worst, because in California it's not going to go nowhere. Nevada. Now, when I go back to Nevada, if I decide to file again, if she tells the truth, she loses. If she lies, she loses. So it all depends on your jurisdiction. Like you said, you're in New York, and I'm sure the judges there are probably the same as they are here. But it really depends on your demographic. In a big city, you're not going to get 50-50. In the smaller towns, you will. But, then again, the parent can move away and then do a modification. So, but before I go, I'd like to know if I can plug my thing for all the listeners.
Go for it.
All right. So this is my, I have a website, recalljudgemagic.com, my info at recalljudgemagic.com. The IG is recall_judge_magic. Facebook is recall magic. I have my slogan because I'm making t-shirts. The system creates deadbeat dads, because it does. On that website, for anybody out there that needs help, you can email me anytime. I'm super busy, but I'm really good at returning emails, especially if I'm trying to help you guys out. It'll show you how to file a complaint with the Commission of Judicial Performance. It'll show you how to file an appeal with the Supreme Court, which overlooks the Superior Courts, which, from what I understand, they do a pretty good job. There's also an online petition for this judge's recall, so no other parents, and I say that mothers and fathers, have to suffer at his helm. And I'm also going to try and pass a state law that hopefully goes nationwide legislation that judges who don't have children of their own are not allowed to judge parental cases.
Well, I want to thank you for. I'm sorry. What were we going to say?
I said because they're not qualified to. It's like me taking my Mercedes to McDonald's and asking them to do an oil change.
Well, I want to thank you for your time. And
yeah, I appreciate it, Arcadio.
Not a problem, man. There's a few people that are just logging on right now that are watching. Can you let everybody know one more time where your name and where you're from?
Yeah, Damien, from Bridgeport, California, by way of San Diego, right next to the Nevada border, and in Mono County, and a ski kind of a resort town.
From Long Island, New York to California, I send my love to you. And like I said to you once before, you're going through it now, but your kids are going to respect you and love you at the fact that Daddy never gave up, and that's what it's all about. God bless, and I hope to see you back on the show again sometime.
All right. Everybody follow me. I love you, Arcadio. Everybody.